The horse returns. After 1 week, what it brought back left everyone speechless. On a serene farm in the rolling countryside of Massachusetts, Henry and Laura Thompson lived a quiet life. Their farm was a haven for animals, including their prized horse, Storm, a majestic chestnut stallion with a coat that glistened like polished copper under the sun. For 15 years, the Thompsons had poured their love and energy into their farm, finding solace in their animals while grappling with a heartbreak they carried in silence: their inability to have a child. Storm was not just a horse to them, he was family. His intelligence often left them in awe, as if he could sense their emotions and understood their unspoken grief. Henry had always said, "Storm has a soul like no other animal I've known." Little did they know how true those words would prove to be. One crisp autumn morning, Storm vanished. Laura had gone to the stable to feed him, only to find the gate unlatched and his stall empty. Panic set in immediately. Storm had never strayed before. Henry and Laura spent the entire day scouring the nearby woods and fields, calling his name and leaving no stone unturned. As night fell, they returned home, defeated and worried. For the next week, the Thompsons searched relentlessly. They put up flyers, asked neighbors for help, and even contacted local authorities. The absence of their beloved Storm left an aching void in their hearts. Laura, in particular, found the nights unbearable. "It feels like we've lost a piece of ourselves," she whispered to Henry as they lay in bed one night. On the 7th day, as dawn broke over the farm, Henry stepped outside to fetch the morning paper. That's when he saw Storm trotting down the dirt path toward the house. His heart leapt with relief. But as Storm drew closer, Henry's relief turned into astonishment. Storm was not alone. Nestled gently against the horse's broad back was a small, frail figure, a little girl no older than 5. She clung to Storm's mane with tiny hands, her face pale and her eyes wide with exhaustion and fear. Her clothes were tattered, and her hair was matted with dirt and leaves. "Laura!" Henry shouted, his voice trembling with urgency. "Come quick! You have to see this." Laura rushed out, and when she saw the scene before her, she gasped, covering her mouth in disbelief. Storm stopped in front of them and knelt slightly, allowing the girl to slide off his back. She stood there, wobbling unsteadily, her gaze shifting between Henry, Laura, and Storm. Laura knelt before the child, her voice soft and soothing. "It's okay, sweetheart. You're safe now. What's your name?" The girl hesitated before whispering, "Emma." Emma's story was heartbreaking. She had been abandoned in the woods, left to fend for herself with no food or shelter. She couldn't explain how she had survived, but she remembered seeing the horse. "Storm found me," she said quietly, her eyes filling with tears. "He stayed with me and brought me here." Henry and Laura exchanged stunned glances. It was as if Storm had understood the child's plight and decided to rescue her. The couple brought Emma inside, wrapped her in a warm blanket, and gave her food and water. They immediately contacted the authorities, but while waiting for responses, they couldn't help but feel a deep connection to the little girl. Over the next few days, the Thompsons cared for Emma as if she were their own. Her timid smile slowly blossomed into laughter, filling the house with a warmth Henry and Laura hadn't experienced in years. The authorities searched for Emma's family, but found no leads. Meanwhile, the Thompsons discovered that Emma had been neglected long before she was abandoned, and the idea of letting her go became unbearable. For years, Henry and Laura had tried to adopt, but each attempt had ended in disappointment. It seemed as though fate had always conspired against them. But now, with Emma, it felt like the universe had finally aligned. Storm's miraculous act had brought them not only a child, but a sense of purpose and completeness they had long yearned for. Months later, the Thompsons officially adopted Emma. The process, which had always been a struggle before, unfolded smoothly this time, as if it was meant to be. On the day the papers were finalized, Emma ran outside to Storm, who was grazing peacefully in the pasture. "Thank you, Storm," she whispered, hugging his neck tightly. The horse nickered softly, lowering his head as if he understood the profound gratitude in her voice. Henry and Laura stood on the porch, watching the scene with tears in their eyes. "Storm knew," Laura said softly. "He knew what we needed, and he brought her to us." From that day forward, the farm was filled with laughter and joy. Emma thrived under Henry and Laura's care, and the bond between her and Storm remained unbreakable. For the Thompsons, Storm's disappearance and return were nothing short of a miracle, a testament to the extraordinary connection between humans and animals, and proof that kindness and love can come in the most unexpected ways. Years later, Emma would often tell the story of how a horse changed her life. She grew up to become a veterinarian, dedicating her life to helping animals in need, just as Storm had once helped her. The Thompsons, now proud parents, believed with all their hearts that Storm had been a messenger from above, bringing them the family they had prayed for so long. And on quiet evenings, as the family sat together watching the sunset over their beloved farm, Storm would stand nearby, his watchful eyes filled with the quiet wisdom of a hero who had brought a miracle home.